So your pipes are clean, huh?
My pipes are so clean, you wouldn't have any idea how
So
clean my
was it
pipes
body painting, Taco Bell, or Roto Rooter?
are. No, we have a company here. Actually, one of my friends runs. It's Dash Drains, and last year this time March, I was down here on the computer and I heard all this water
I
flowing,
remember.
and luckily it didn't flood out, but I mean it kind of wrecked the area around the washer dryer, and just water was not going down the pipes anymore. And this was like 6 o'clock on a Saturday night. And I called them up and they come down and they were snaking it. They couldn't find it. So they finally said, I think it's the main. So
And it's never, like Monday morning at 10:30 when it would
no,
be.
yeah.
Let's do it the
So
most inconvenient time of weekend night.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, well, it says, I can't, finish the wash. Okay, whatever. But I mean, I can't even flush a toilet or do dishes or brush my teeth because water was just backing up and going all over the place. And so, so a second guy showed up and he says, where's your main? And I says, it's over here. So that we pulled like all the stuff over here against the wall in my basement here that I have surrounding the main so it hides it. And he like undid it and he drove a snake through there, and he said he went down 100 feet and he grabbed all these roots. 100 feet he had to go.
That's a lot.
Because I'm like, man, I'm sitting there like every time he would go another 10 feet, another 10 feet. I'm like, man, he's never going to find this blockage, is he? He goes, I'll find it. He goes,
how old was this tree?
I don't know. He goes, we don't have that many trees in the front of the house. That's why he's like, I don't know where the roots come in, because he went out 100 feet. And he goes, I'm looking 100 feet from like your house. I'm like, I can't imagine where it went. But no matter what the case is, he pulled out this big chunks of roots. He was showing me. He's like, hey, I ground them up and I dug them out. And I was like, oh, good. And he goes, you're good to go. And we've been fine since. He says, if you notice anything, let me know. But he says, I'd recommend you do this once a year.
And so that was today.
So that was today. So the guy came in and he cleared out the area again. And he got in the thing, and he went out. He said he went out about 90 feet or so. And he said he found a little bit of roots, but nothing major. But he says we should be good to go. So I'm like,
How far is your lot to the front of the road where it would meet the main?
Well, I asked him that. And he says he's not sure how all the pipes go. Sometimes it's a straight shot. Sometimes they go out and they
it's zigzag type deal.
He says I could be going across the street, And so we don't. But he says it's unfortunately the city makes it all my responsibility.
Yeah.
So and it's like
congratulations on being a homeowner.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not about to start digging up the street to find the roots in my pipes. You know what I mean? So luckily this company is really good. So anybody in the my area. They are good. Dash Range is fantastic.
Evil twins. That's what we get. We come on every night. We do this for an hour and a half.
Wow.
I wrestle one banner, and that's it.
That's right.
So hello, everybody. How are you?
Yeah, so let's get some highs going on here. I like to post those when I can.
Yeah.
As we were just talking a little bit off the air about, how they clean things out today, and that's it, so I mean that another boring day over here. I hung around for the drain guy to show up, and he showed up pretty much right on time, which is good. And he was here about an hour, maybe a little less, did his thing, and I walked the dog, and then that was about it.
He's been eating a lot of grass.
Yeah, he didn't want to go on the walk today. He laid down on the walk. That is concerning. This is the other dog. This is not the one that we had the problem with. This is he's 10, but it's like, man, he's never had an issue. And so he came home.
A lot of grass, you're going to have some issues.
But grass, that means they have a bad stomach. Something that something's bothering him. Now he did go to the bathroom, so he's not like constipated really. So go Oxford, you open. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of we gotta get this open. At least they need to take the chains off the hockey rink here, so I can go and just skate around. They need to do that.
We should call the city and ask. That would be something I would specifically call.
Just say, look, take the chains off the things here.
Right.
Hi, ID.
And the banner. ABC Sports says hi.
Yeah.
Yes, Corey. We all did that. Today was the first day that Burlington kind of felt like Burlington throughout the whole thing. We ran into someone that we hadn't seen all winter, because by the time that we got shut down, it was March. So we don't normally see him. I think the last time we saw this person was just after Christmas. And so more things were opening to there. The Subway reopened, by the way, today. you can't sit in there. But
Oh,
so
good.
so a little more and a little more and a little more.
Yeah.
And I had a salad for dinner.
Good.
And I tried to have some peaches, and you couldn't find them. And somehow my dessert looked like a chocolate chip cookie. I don't know how the hell that happened. I asked for peaches. Anyway,
well, it happens. It happens. I ask for salad and I get hamburgers all the time.
Oh, that's terrible, Dave.
Yeah, it is.
It's horrible. Sage and Stinky Wave. Oh, by the way. So I did the stream last night. You're gonna come over. You get out of there. It's water. So Dave accused me of trading. Get out of there.
I haven't seen the cat since
for
the banner. I haven't seen the cat.
And do you know what? She's on. Nope. Now here she comes. Is she going to get into view? So last night I do the intro for the ball game, and guess who comes on the camera?
Oh,
there she is.
Oh, the cat is back.
The cat
came back.
My legs.
The very next day, the cat came back. Thought he was a goner, but the cat came back.
So there we go. So there you go. So just in case you wondered where my darling little girl went, that's where she went. She was not eaten by the ABC Sports banner. That is the same cat, Steve. Jeez. Can't believe you. Yeah, see? Turbocharged knows who that is.
Dave's moving to South Carolina, I guess.
North Augusta, South Carolina. See, here's the dirty little secret about the golf course down there. You've heard of it. They play a rather important tournament, I guess, this November there.
Okay.
And so before you get to Magnolia Drive and everything, it's like strip mall city, subways and massage parlors and stuff like that. And so all that beauty of the azaleas and stuff is all just a ruse so you can go down and get your Robert Kraft sandwich.
Is there something wrong with that? You make it sound like it's a bad
no, there's
thing.
nothing. But they make it sound like when you watch the Masters that it is this pastoral thing in the middle of sleepy Augusta, Georgia. You know what? Augusta's just as sleepy as Saugus. No, I didn't trade my wife for the cat. Come on.
I thought that was sweet messages, not massages. Sweet messages. I thought you.
My wife traded me for now. My wife would trade me for the cat.
Now would you take the banner with you if you left?
No. Oh, if I left?
Yeah.
I'd find another banner.
Oh, you would leave the banner here and get another banner?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sure when my wife was 13, 14 and dreaming at night of whoever was going to take her away and be her Prince Charming, I'm absolutely sure that she dreamt of middle-aged fat men who slept with big old 80s sports banners in their bedroom, I'm sure Sarah's going, I can't wait in 30 years to have this flying ABC Sports meatball logo in my bedroom with my hoodie. No, she didn't. Too many. Sleepy or sleazy? They're interchangeable, I think, for strip malls. Yes, 2020 is going to be a banner year.
Yep. It is.
I couldn't find a CBC banner. You know what I did find today, though?
What'd you find?
I found some Hockey Night in Canada jerseys.
Oh, wow.
I got to try to. I don't want the new one with the modern CBC logo, but the one that with the baby blue with the
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want to find. But I think you're right. I'm going to take your wife's advice. Jim Carrey is not in my shower. Ew. And put something on the wall over there. I was looking.
Yeah, we need to dress up the studio a little bit.
Yes.
Now that you're going big time, so.
Yeah, big time my butt, but.
So I played a little bit of APA baseball last night on the tabletop. I sorted all my cards out. It took a long time because they don't put the names of the teams on the cards. So I didn't know who everybody was. So luckily I just was like going down my list and checking them off one at a time, went through all the teams. And then I played about 5 innings last night and I got tired. It was 11 o'clock. I got tired, but it was fun. It flowed nice. So I'd never played APA before and that was fun. So I need
Good.
to play a few more times. And I need to play a little bit of Strat and kind of compare and contrast.
They're different games, and
They're
they'll
different,
have
but they're very similar. Very
they're
similar.
very basic, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all.
It is a rerun.
Yeah, it's a rerun. Yep. I just got that in the mail yesterday, so I was like, I want to put it up for a second day. I like it. I think it's a great combination of colors. It really is. It's a very unique black with red, yellow, and white. It's kind of neat.
Now, my tagline on my channel is a ripoff from CBC.
The following
Is a live presentation of CBC Sports, home of the champions. And so, yeah. So that's a ripoff.
I remember back in the day.
Used to show them on 38, right?
No, we never got Hockey Night in Canada. But I remember back in the day, like right around the time of cable TV was just coming in, and people were like, "Oh, I watch Hockey Night in Canada on the satellite." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And you go to their house, and there was just
the monster
SETI, the SETI type, antenna in the backyard, and it's like I can imagine
aliens in Don Cherry, yeah.
It's like I can imagine, it's like the wife's all happy that you got a 30-foot, satellite dish in the backyard. It's like they were not small back then. So.
No, and they weren't scrambled either. Not even the Klingon channels.
Corey, he found a cockroach in the tube at the drive-through bank. Oh, it
Corey.
jumped out at him. Oh man.
I had a pincher once years ago get stuck in a straw.
Ooh.
And so, this was before I got married. And so the person that got me up in the morning also fed me breakfast. And so I'm eating a bowl of cereal, and she gives me a sip of milk. And the look on my face, I think, scared her. And I spit out this bug.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the end of that breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have I haven't been driving my car. I mean, I drive it, a couple times a week down to the chiropractor, and that's it. I just don't go anywhere anymore. And I opened up at the chiropractor. I pulled the latch, and there was a spider with a web sitting inside in my handle because I'm not using it. So the spiders are now taking over my car. It was about the size of. Wow, that was a good size one. How did they not see it? Did you put it back in and send it back to them? I would have.
Did it give you a lollipop at least?
Ron winks at everybody.
That's true. That's right. Al Michaels was, yeah. Now the gambling references are on the broadcast, not just in the commercials.
No, not really. Honestly, I was telling Ron this afternoon. I don't like the APA cards at all. I don't like the cards. The game is fine, but the top of the card, it looks like a phone book, where it's like the guy's. There's no. They couldn't put the team name on there or the city, so you could. No, because if you ever drop them on the ground and shuffle them, you ain't gonna know who's on what team. But holy cow, it's like Fred, Jimbo, Bob, Ryan, Jones, Smith.
His name is mine.
He's got like some of these cards have 19 names and then a nickname on them, and it's like, jeepers creepers, just tell me the guy's name and what team he's on. It's so bloated with that. I see these cards and my eyes start to hurt when I look at some of the APA cards. And for the life of me, why can't you put any kind of indication, even a BOS or a CIN or NYY, anything at all to indicate what team he's on? That blew my mind that the team names were not on the card.
You got turbocharged to blow up. I love it.
You put it back in. Good. I can do the spiders. Scorpions I never dealt with, but no snakes. I cannot do snakes.
I've seen a scorpion.
Really?
And I'm not a huge fan of spiders. Snakes don't bother me. I have something with wheels.
No, I can't do snakes. I get little garter snakes to my yard. Drives me nuts. Oh my gosh! It's like forget it. I just can't stand them. Yeah. I mean, if they did a card with that, it'd be unbelievable. No,
That's cool.
See that. Yeah,
I hadn't seen that.
That APA Go is really fast. Yeah,
but that's not fast after you get down and know how the cards work. I bet you could play almost that fast on the tabletop.
Yeah, I mean, I was moving along. I mean, I like how it's like you have the book open. It's like man on first, a man on. I mean, it's right there. You know, it's really kind of neat how they do that. So you never are wondering. There was only a couple times I got stuck where it was like something was supposed to happen, but the asterisk said that it was. Well, that means 2 outs.
No, you only read the asterisk when there is 2 outs.
Yeah,
Obviously, you can't have a double play when there's 2 out.
Yeah, I got hung up on one thing, but it wasn't too bad. Well, you know, that's the thing is that we were talking about getting out of here, especially if they don't open this place up and I'm out of work for good, then there's no sense me staying here. But yeah, I can't do the slithering things. And the alligators are one thing, you know what I mean? That's still kind of weird, you know? I'm smiling a lot. I don't know.
Dave or me?
Ron never smiles. I fake it to get through the show. Yeah. I try to put on a nice face.
I got some shampoo in my eye this morning.
Yeah, you know, Apico's it does look. Yeah, that was great about that is that you could click on the details and it tells you what it's looking at. That's how I learned how to play because I read the rule book. I'm like, oh, my head hurts. I can't do this. But when I did that, it really kind of showed me how to play. So yeah, I did like that. Oh, no snake in the backyard. There you go. Yeah. No, we had a one that was like about yay long.
Like it was a fish story. Just gets
that was pretty good. Well, I'm trying to stay within the frame here. We had a guy say it was about this long one time. It was a monster. I was like, oh, dude, just get out of my yard, you know. But I think we have enough hawks and stuff now that we don't really have them around. The Apple book I have was not that bad. It's upstairs. I don't have it here, but it really wasn't that bad. Oh, Dave met Dave Roberts. Nice.
Yeah, and must be the Yankee and Steelers hat, as Mr. Mike says.
It could be.
You'll be glad I did not take the Habs hat off the wall and put it on.
Honey met Fox too. I still love that. Was it Dave Roberts that he stole second, then he slid in the home on that single on that Red Sox comeback. I still love when he come home and he slid and he swept his hand across the plate and he jumped up and he like clapped his hands. And that still was like one of my all-time favorite baseball memories is him crossing the plate. Everyone knew he was going to steal and he stole and he got the base. And then was it Ortiz hit the ball up the middle? Somebody singled and he come around and scored. And he slid and just like the place went nuts. And I remember he swept the plate as he went by and he get up and the place went nuts and there was no looking back. That's still one of my my favorite baseball memories.
I told you the story that I didn't watch that live. If I said this on, we talk about a lot of different things. The Yankees were up in the top of the ninth. I had had a serious bout of depression. And so I think, okay, they've at least made this a game. They're down in the bottom of the ninth. They're about to get swept. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I do not need to watch them celebrate on my home field. And so I shut it off. And when the paper came the next morning, you remember those things, newspapers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were, that's how I found out the Red Sox won Game 4. was in the paper the next morning.
I was watching, I don't know if it was Game 3 or 4. We were at the game in Worcester, and I was sitting next to Bruce. And I had my phone out. And it wasn't like the phones of today. Back in,
right.
What was that? Was that 04? Or
04.
Okay. And I had this little app on the phone, and they're not like the apps on the iPhone. I don't even know if the iPhones are out at this point, but you could get this little thing. And so I was trying to get the score of the Red Sox. So we were sitting at the hockey game, and I got a score, and the guy in the next row got a score, and our scores were different. That's how messed up things were. So I was like, oh, it looks like the Red Sox are down 5-2. I was like, no, I got them winning over here. And it was like, well, how can that be? But it's like it was having trouble loading and it was just really messed up. So I was following along and the game was going back and forth. I think that's the one that they lost like 18-something.
19-8 was Game 3.
Yeah, because they went back and forth for the longest time. And then I remember
that one, yeah.
Yeah, I drove home and I she went to bed and then I went downstairs here and I says, and I'm watching the score like ching ching like pumping gas. You know what I mean? And I remember sitting there. Don't ask me why. And wasn't really a big baseball fan still, but I was just like, it was 18-9, and the game ended, and they're like, well, we'll see you tomorrow night for Game 4. And I remember saying to myself, going, you know something, it can't end like this.
I was so depressed.
I can't, I never would thought they would come back and win 4 in a row, and I never thought they'd win the World Series. But something said to me, like, they were down 3-0, and they got spanked. And they were, who they bring in, Wakefield, just to kind of get through the game and save the starting pitchers of the bullpen.
Save the arms for Game 4.
So the game's over. Let's just go in there and just try to get you right. And I remember sitting on the couch saying to myself, it can't end this way. And I watched the whole thing and get over in the middle of the night, and it was 18-9. I was like, they got destroyed.
But they got nuked. They're down 3-0. So bad in the process.
I says, I don't think it's not going to end this way. It's just not going to end this way. And then they came back and they won that first game, and then they went to New York and won one. I don't know how the series went.
They won Game 4, and then because there had been a rain out that Friday night, Game 5 was pushed to like Monday afternoon at 5:00. And so Monday afternoon at 5 came through, and that game went till 11:00. It was like a 6-hour game, and Ortiz won that one. And so, okay, we've gotten this back to New York, and I knew the Red Sox were going to win that series in the second inning of Game 6, because Mark Bellhorn hit a homer into left center field, and the umpires ruled it a double. Okay, and so they got together, and then when you saw the waving of the fingers for the home run, like, oh, we never get those calls. But for my Yankee friends, I got a story. 2001, Game 4. It's when the Yankees, I think, get 2 in the 9th off of B.K. Kim, one of those Red Sox suckers that we got later on. And so the Yankees were down by 2 in the 9th, and they might have been down their last out. And they came back to tie it. So we're going to the 10th, and they're going, and it is a long story. And so Joe Buck's going to go through and say, hey, it's Jeter, Dave Gardner, and Mr. Mike do up for the Yankees in the bottom of the 10th. And I'm thinking, just kind of like you did with it won't end this way. And I said to myself, this game's not getting past Jeter. Jeter's going to win this game. And sure enough, you know what happened.
Tell me, I don't know what happened. I don't follow that stuff.
Jeter walked it off with a home run. And then the next night, they came from 2 down in the 9th to win again. And then the Diamondbacks beat them in 7.
I only watched the Diamondbacks. I saw it. Maybe it was the last game. It was a game. I think it was Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7 was a classic.
And that's when Schilling was pitching, and then they brought in Rudy Johnson there.
Randy
Johnson.
Yep.
Okay, they brought in him out of the bullpen. He had pitched the night before, and he closed it out.
Yep.
And it was like, well, you might as well, because there's no more pitching after today.
Yeah.
And then I saw them load the bases, and a guy hit the single up the middle, and was it the Rattlers that won, Arizona Rattlers, whatever they were. They won.
But yes.
Yeah. And so they won. And I saw that. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
So
it's just weird. You're down 3-0, and you're like, all right, let's rally for Game 4.
Yeah, Millard, don't let us win one. Don't let us win one.
Yeah.
How you doing, Rich? But you must have a hockey story like that you kind of knew the Bruins were going to do something. Maybe not down the series, but you knew that, a tight game, like, oh no, someone's gonna win this game for us.
I can't, because the Bruins just had so many heartbreaks that I just kind of gave up. I really did. And then that season that they were 3-0 on Philadelphia, and they lost 4 in a row, including Game 7 at home where they went up 3-0 and blew that lead. And I remember, like, after that got done, like I say, I watched, but I only watch from a distance because I just don't follow it nearly as close as I used to. And I remember saying to myself, they're really going to have to come back next year and do something to prove everybody, because that's what the second team in history.
That's the type of loss that sets a franchise back 5 years.
Yeah, second team in history to blow a 3-0 series lead, and they were up 3-0 in Game 7, and they blew it. And it's like they're going to have to really do something next year. And I wasn't thinking win the Stanley Cup, but I'm thinking at least go deep, get into the conference finals, rebound from this. And what did? They won the damn cup. They went all the way and won the cup, and everybody forgot about what happened the year before. And I was like, well,
Timmy Thomas got hot.
Yeah, he did. I was in Pittsburgh when they went to the finals. That picture of me with the Pittsburgh banner that I show once in a while, that was we were in Pittsburgh doing the finals, and the Bruins, and I got word on the text, someone says, the Bruins won, and they're going to the cup. And I was like, oh, congrats to the Bruins, they're going to the cup. But I was still pissed off from the year before, Yeah, there's this time in 1920, the Bruins were in first place, and then
they got further than the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Everyone's still alive according to the standings. So anyways, I got the nice clean pipes now, so hopefully I won't have any issues, and I haven't. But boy, it's scary when the water's not leaving your house.
No, I remember that night.
It wasn't even going anywhere. And I was just like, man, it is just standing still. I'm like, oh my, what is the blockage here? And all I could think of was something like a collapsed pipe out there. And I'm like, oh man, I don't have the money for that. But
Rich, have you read the book that Rich is talking about?
I read a Seals book, but I did not read this one. I read The Colorful History of the Seals. In fact, I interviewed the writer for it.
Okay.
Brad Kurtzberg. I interviewed him on one of my shows years ago.
Craig Wessels, by the way, the Kickstarter that he talked about a couple weeks ago on the show, that went live today. Craig, if you put the link in, we'll post it for you.
Yeah, I might have to pick up that Seals book. But the thing is I read the book, one of the books. I've seen all the videos. There's really not much else to be told about the Seals. There's really not. Yeah, that there's nothing. I mean, we thought it was in the house. We were trying to figure it out, but then he's like, no, I think this is out in the street. And so the second guy showed up last year and brought in the big grinder, and he's like, I'm gonna fix this. And I was like, and I went upstairs, and every time I would come down, to any luck? And he's like, nope. And I was like sweating.
100 feet. Oh my God.
I was sweating it out. I was like, man, what are we going to do? We're going to have to really dig up the street so I can flush the toilet, So, yeah, there's a couple good ones on YouTube about the Seals. What I've talked about this before is I've never really put 2 and 2 together, where I was like, Milosh played for the Barons, and then Milosh and a few other guys played for Minnesota. And I never put it together that they came all the way from California together. Because I'm like, boy, there's a lot of Seals on the North Stars. Well, that's because they come over from California to Cleveland. And I knew it, but I didn't put it all together for some reason. No, that's too bad. That's even worse when the blockage is you.
Taco Bell helps with that. And if it's another kind of blockage, not eating Taco Bell helps with that. There you go. Put in Craig's link, please.
All right. So there's Craig's Kickstarter there for his baseball book there, if you want to check it out.
I had the most amazing baseball game today. I know you're not a baseball fan, but...
Well, no, but you enjoyed talking about it, and you're part of this show, so feel free to talk about it.
I'll talk to your mother first.
No, I don't. That's how I got sick. I think that's how I got my heart problem, was the colonoscopy.
Yeah, I do too.
So there's going to be a long time for I do another one. They're going to have to say, we need to give you one or you're going to die, because it's going to be,
what we're talking about.
I don't know if I've had 4 or 5. I'm only 53. I've already had 4 or 5 of them. So I've done my time with that. No, somebody came and just snaked out my main line going out of the house, because we had a backup last year this time, and they said that once a year we should come in and send the grinder down and grind up the roots and clear it out. And that's what they did today. And they said, we didn't find hardly anything. We took a little bit out, but you should be good to go. So that's what it was. So it wasn't me. It was just, it was the house. So we get the house. I cleaned the outside of the house, and now we clean the inside of the house, and the pipes are looking good. So yeah, I wonder why Cleveland didn't have the hockey and Pittsburgh did not have NBA. I don't know.
Cleveland was a big AHL market for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, I think one of the teams did leave 16 on. So yes, so bottom of the 7th, the Dodgers are up 7-2. Dodgers Pirates from Three Rivers. And Pittsburgh comes back. They end up tying the game in the 8th or 9th. And so it's 7-7, and both teams just can't do anything. And so we get to the bottom of the 10th, Jamie, or bottom of the 11th. And so you guys all know what the Mendoza line is. It's a baseball player who couldn't hit his own weight, couldn't hit 200. So if you hit below the Mendoza line, you weren't a major league hitter. And so he's up at the bottom of the 11th. So he's up, and Terry Forster, Dave Letterman's fat tubagoo, is on the mound for Los Angeles. And so the chat's going, you got a pinch hit for Mendoza. But I got a pitcher that's due up in a couple batters, and I'm running out of players. I have to save the pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. So I got to bat Mendoza. And the Pirates had come back and all the way through, and we're having a good long game. It was well over an hour. And wouldn't you know, Mendoza walks it off with a home run. Just popped one down the line and left. It's a Carlton Fisk shot, barely clears the wall, and the Pirates win 8-7. Just one of the most. I don't yell a lot in my streams. You can go on Twitch and find it.
That's great. That's fun when stuff like that happens.
And it really was, because the crowd was into it today, and it was the Dodgers, so Lorenzo was never here for these chats, was there, and it was just one of those. Because last night after our stream, I did a game, and it was 12-5 Texas or whatever. And it was just an absolute blowout. And it wasn't even that close. I think it was 12-1 in the 8th. And so, okay, yeah, you got it. Yep, Dodgers had 2 players out on the base pass. North picked off. And yep, absolutely just. Yeah, and Todd B said, I asked if he could hit a homer. And so one of those great things. Oh, George Brett gave the name Mendoza line. Okay. Even a blind squirrel find. It was just one of those, it's kind of like Al getting beat at the last second type games.
Yep.
No, it's a walk. The walk-off safety. Yep. Big Clue is right. The proverbial worst player in history. His name is synonymous with failure. Walks it off against the best team in baseball. Just one of those. Yep, you had to have been there.
Nice. That's fun when you have those games. I'm playing my APA games. I'm playing 1978. It's Kansas City at Boston. It's Tiant and Splittorf. And I'm in the 5th. That's where I ended off last night. And I think it's like 5-0 Kansas City. Boston, I think they got one hit, I think. They can't hit. It's too funny.
I'm going to find it here, and I'm going to play it at the end of that game.
Yeah, all the batting stats. Yeah.
So never mind me for a second. An hour and 29 minutes to play that game. Holy crap.
Really? That's a long one. I don't know if ID's still here, but I sent you an email, and I got some stuff I'm printing out. So just in case you were wondering, trying to piece that all together tonight so I can play. I'm going to finish my APA game, and then I'll jump onto that. Dodgers lost both games. Okay. Yeah, do you know what I would like to see is like a little, just doesn't have to be huge, but just a little, like little instructions, like here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. Because I like some of the ideas that are kicking around about different things, but there's a lot of little things to keep in mind. So,
all right, here we go.
But I watched the whole video today, just so you know. I watched the whole video today because I was skipping through it. Watched the whole video, and I took some notes, and I was reading something else. So I got a pretty good idea on what to do now. So, all right. So we're going to go to Ron's stream here. We're going to make it maximized.
You ready? So here's what you missed earlier today. So not quite 16.
Here's Mendoza. So this is the 11th.
Yep.
17 hits for the Pirates.
Todd B asked me how much of a chance of a home run here. So it's 2.7%.
Huh. He's got a better chance of hitting a home run than he does of catching the virus.
Yeah.
He's going to bat. 1 out. Into left. Back goes Baker. To the wall. Mario Mendoza has walked it off. Pirates 8. Dodgers 7. No way. Mario Mendoza has won the ball game. He called the shot. The Pirates win it.
He called the shot. I'm sure he did. A 2.7 chance. He called the shot. He called the shot.
The chat, of course. Oh yeah. So Lorenzo is swearing. Just one of those crazy, the funny thing. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
like I was playing action PC hockey one night, and I got 2 Bruins defensemen scoring from the point. It was I imagine they had the 2.whatever% chance to score and goal from the point. They got Dallas Smith and Carol Vadnais scoring from the point. It was like outside shot city, and they kept scoring. Yep, he's got some good stuff going on here.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. You had to come back. The Dodgers did everything to give that game away, and they did, to the worst hitter in Major League history. It wasn't a Honus Wagner by any stretch,
I had some guys coming up in my my Apple game there. I was like, I remember Freddie Patek and George Brett. I remember those guys. And Hal McRae. Oh, I took whoever the outfielder was. I didn't like I put Willie Wilson in the outfield for Kansas City. I always liked Willie Wilson.
I did too. It wasn't good in '78, but I did too.
Yes. Standing ovation.
We don't root against. Yeah, Lorenzo was flipping. He was flipping.
See, I don't get mad anymore. Like when you play games or Al plays games and it has like the Patriots or whatever and they lose, I don't get mad anymore. I just unsub. That's how I do it.
Well, he might have only hit 1 in 7 in real life.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
It was featured live on a Twitch stream.
I will say the action PC games, I think they get something built in because they always have. I don't say always. We've talked about this before. How the end of the game heroics, end of the game craziness stuff happens at the end of a Dave Cook game. No matter what sport it is, that it almost seems scripted because it's all the time. Remember that time that you scored the touchdown and put the game away and they returned the kickoff for a touchdown with no time left on the clock? I mean, stuff like that happens. It happens more often than not, though.
Well, like I said, last night I had a 12-5 game, and so I don't think it happens too much. And I'm the one that had the walk-off safety.
Yeah, Al did too. I watched them both live. Al's was the pass. Yours was a run. But stuff like that happens quite often in those games there. It really does. And I don't know if there's like a meter built in that it takes a chance on something crazy happening, but the game is never over. It's just, it's always, and I'm going to say it's scripted, but it's like there's always a fumble or an interception or a big return or a home run or a fluky goal that happens. It's just, it keeps the game interesting, which is fine. But we had talked before, like if it happens too much, you don't want that either.
I've played enough of these because we do them every day. I'm doing 6-7 games a week. And no, I don't know. It's nice that it can happen, and it's nice that the game's not over until it's over. Cake. Ooh.
No, I'm going to make everybody hungry here in the middle of the stream. I know. I still want that chocolate cream down right below you. That's a good one.
Turbo, it will be in a couple weeks because I'm so far behind in actually posting the videos on YouTube that you got a lot to go through. But post my Twitch address, please.
If it pleases the court.
If it pleases the court. They stay on Twitch for 2 weeks. So that's how you can find it. So yep. But it was fun. You know, I mean that's why. And you've had them too. I still think the highlight though was the game that you were showing me and when the lights went out the arena.
Yeah, stuff like that. That was fun. And of course it had to be the Russian game. It was Russian Canada. That was pretty fun.
They're going home. They are going home. Oh, what muffins did you bring the big boys?
Oh, jeepers. Yeah, the place, the city that I go to see my chiropractor in, they have a, is it Gingerbread House, a gingerbread construction company or something like that? And there's only a couple of them around here, I think. I don't even know if they're still there. I drove by it the other day and I didn't look to see if it was still open or not. But they have these muffins and they're like softballs. Okay. And when we would go out to Worcester to see Bruce and Laura there, we would stop off and we'd pick up, 6 or 12 of these muffins. And there was like Boston cream pie, picture like a blueberry muffin, but like a monster one. And they had, like I said, Boston cream pie. They had chocolate and cream. They had like a strawberry one with cream. I mean, any kind of dessert they made this muffin for, and they were huge. And it was like, it was pretty. Yeah, Scott knows that. And they were good. They were expensive because they were huge. But I mean, you'd go in there, and this place was tiny and it'd be packed. And you're like, give me one of those and 2 of those and 2 of those. And I think Bruce liked the strawberry one. There was a strawberry one with cream. It was almost like a
it's like a filled donut or
yeah, kind of sort of, yeah. What are those desserts there that like
an eclair?
Strawberry shortcake. I think that's what it was.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a strawberry shortcake one, I think. The Boston cream one was kind of good too. But oh man, I don't know if they're still around. Actually, I got to go there tomorrow. I should stop in. I think I saw that. Yeah, I don't enjoy the nickname. If it was just like Freddy R2D2 Patek, would be one thing. But it's like it's got so many names on the card at the top. It just clogs it up. It's like, oh man. Yeah, the strawberry shortcake one. Yep. Yeah, Bruce says that was the one. Yep. So we'd have to get 2 or 3 of those because Bruce would take 2 for himself, and the poor kids, his kids would be starving in the corner. They'd have rags on in the corner. It's like, Dad, can we have one? It's like, nope.
It's like Flinter's story. How did you get through? That was an all-time classic. I just stared at the door and waited for the phone to hang up.
That was pretty good.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Okay, Wakefield and Winchester. Okay. I used to work in Winchester. That's where I had the trophy shop years ago. The Wakefield, maybe I'll stop in tomorrow. But the only thing is they're big and they're good and you want to eat them. It's like, oh my gosh. I really don't know if I want to and keep gorging myself during the lockdown. I know I walk every day, but still it's
been that's tough because the first thing that we're all inclined to do is eat.
Yeah.
Just eat through the stress.
Eat and sleep, And in fact, my wife had a
I sleep past 4:30 in the morning, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've been getting up early. I've been sleeping in late, and I don't like to do that. But it's like I got nothing to do. And the thing is, there's no motivation. Every once in a while, somebody posts something, on social media. It's like, man, I got all this time. I don't want to do anything. And it's exactly right. You just don't want to do anything. It's weird because I don't know what to do with downtime. It's been 25 years since I've had this much time off. It's I don't know what to do with myself. And so you just lay there. And she was on the phone with a doctor and talking about, she's depressed and anxious and all the stuff that I am. And the doctor says,
all are,
the doctor says, you wouldn't believe the calls we're getting on this. People's mental health is taking a beating right now. And that should be one of the reasons why we need to open things up faster. We need to give people hope. And we're not getting hope. Some of our representatives here are like, it's too early to open up. Well, that's great. You got a paycheck coming in. Your health care is paid for. You're a representative. Some of us don't have that luxury. Some of us need to pay some bills here. So, but you still want your tax money though, honey, don't you? So it's killing people. It's killing people. It really is. And yeah, and I've been going to bed late. I'll sit here and be printing out stuff.
You're up till 1:30, 2 o'clock.
And
You know.
I don't like to do that, but I'll do the show and then I'll chill out here and maybe I'll play a game or then I'll watch, Al or ID or somebody or somebody will have something on here and I'll be watching and maybe I'll print out stuff on the printer and cut some cards. I mean, and the next thing you know, it's like, holy crap, it's 1:00. I need to start winding down. And then by the time I, close up everything and finish everything I'm doing, it's 1:30. Then I go to bed and then I'm watching YouTube in bed. It's like 2:00 in the morning. And it's like, I can't get into that routine. I just can't, because it's going to be so hard trying to go back to work.
The other thing is, and I try not to talk too much about what's going on up here because it is different. And one of the things that I've actually read an article on was that, as we do get back into our pre-COVID routines, how are we going to be able to handle that? I've seen more people in the last week than I've seen the last 8 weeks. And how do you deal with all the stresses of doing that over and over, over and over?
Well, if I had a week off, like in the summertime, July 4th, I'd take a week off, and I would have a heck of a time getting back into the flow. I'd be like, man, what am I doing now? I'd have to think real hard about what I'm doing here because I'm being self-employed. I'm the one that no one tells me what to do. I got to tell myself what to do.
Right.
Okay, I need this. I need that. I got to do this. Okay, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? You know what I mean? And it's so hard when you're the guy that's telling everybody what to do, but I'm telling myself what to do. So I need this. I need that. And, I'm going to forget this. So, yeah, so now it's like I'm so out of my game. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Seriously. And Gilles, yeah, I mean, we're trying to go for number one. We are really trying to get number one. That's what they're saying. Is they don't want to open up until we have a cure. Whether that's 50 years from now or not, they don't want to open up till we have a cure. That's what they're saying here. That's how ridiculous this is. This virus ain't going anywhere. We're going to have to meet this head on and take it for what it is. But people cannot continue to take this beating mentally and financially, and people are hating each other. And you don't have a mask. It's bad. The cure is worse than the virus right now. It really is. And so, yeah, so we're trying to be number one slow. So everyone around us is opening up restaurants and things that we're not, because we're the smart ones. But don't ask the doctors how many calls they're getting from people who have to put off procedures and suffering from depression. So don't ask that.
Kind of good question.
Oh, you guys, 4:30. Well, I try, but I work nights and I work mornings. So my shift is one of these when I work. So sometimes I work really late at night, and sometimes I'm up at 4:45 in the morning. So my shift is really all over the place. So, but I got into a routine where I knew when I had to go to bed on what night to get up at a certain time and what days I could sleep in and what days I couldn't. So I was into that routine. But now there's no routine. So I find myself every night a little bit later, a little bit later, a little bit later, So Mars is number one.
He's got a good question for you.
Yeah, they keep saying the new normal. You're right. I don't want the new normal. No, screw that.
Choice of the matter. We're getting a new normal.
Screw that. I mean, so what is that again? What does that mean? Like we can never hang out together? It's like,
but
yeah, we have a rhino governor. He's a Republican that hates the president. That makes him a Democrat, basically. So, how do I decide what pennants are displayed by me? I rotate. I got a whole bunch of them that I bought back in the day, and I just take a couple down and put a couple up, and there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes if I'm recording something or if I go live with a particular game and I have that team, I'll put it up behind me if I do. And I've been trying to find some cheap pennants. Like I said, I don't really want to spend money right now because I'm out of work. So I need to buy some more pennants to mix them up because I've gone through them all because we're doing every night. But I'll try to change one or two and I'll put them in different places just so if anybody tunes in, it's not all the same. It's just a little bit different. Yeah, but that's 50 years. That's there's a lot of things we don't have cures for, and it does suck, because it's hurting the people here. It really is. And there's a lot of people who are well off that this is not affecting, so they put together a committee, a 17-person committee. Do you think any one of them is a small business owner that's out of business? No.
Get your car washed next week, though.
I'm going to get my hair cut, too, somewhere. I don't know how I'm going to probably have to wear a mask and a suit of armor to go in there, but, Yeah, don't live in New England. Yeah, I would move south, but I don't want the snakes. I really don't want the snakes. But if I have to put up with snakes rather than politicians, I will. It's not a sham by any means, but I just saw a thing today that Michigan and New York and even Massachusetts, they were sending the old people with the virus into the nursing home. They're like, no, get them out of the hospital, put them back in the nursing home. And it ran through the nursing home, and it ran up there in yours too, right? One of your nursing homes.
That's how most of our deaths happened up here.
And they were saying that it's 60% of the deaths are from the nursing home people, and that's because they put them back. So if you factor in that 60% of the people were old and ill and they kind of were put in an incubator, you really got to look at the numbers a little different now, because the news says, oh, all these people died today. Well, if they were all in nursing homes, why are you making it sound like normal people are just dying in the middle of the street? So that's why, yeah. And there's some people that get that. And there's some people that just watch the news and take the news at face value and think that all of us have the same chance of dying. And we kind of don't. But anyway, yeah, they're talking about not even school in the fall. That's how insane it is. That's how ridiculous it is. And I feel bad for people with kids. I do. It's too late. It's not about, it's politics are here. It's everything's political now. And there's some pretty wild conspiracy theories, but holy cow, they don't look so wild right now. They really don't. Yeah. That the whole mask thing it's so stressful. It's like it takes away your identity. It's like when they put the muzzles on, whatever.
I was joking with my person this morning, we're going to have a whole generation of kids with face fetishes. Because oh wow, your lips.
Canada. I don't know about that. They're Canada's more liberal than we are down here. I just need to find a state that has no snakes. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid around these things. Did you see the tennis ball thing? The lady is like, oh, you can hit the tennis ball, but you can't pick it up. You have to kick it back to them. If you're playing tennis with somebody.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. Explain the tennis ball thing to me. There was this whole video about you can't touch the other person's balls when you're playing tennis. And she was saying it with a straight face. We're going to look back on her in a few years and laugh our asses off at how ridiculous she sounds. And the baseball, they were reading last night on sports radio. They were reading about the baseball. It's like
with the mask on, you can't do that.
Don't play baseball right now. If these are the guidelines, don't play baseball. If the ground ball is the shortstop, he throws it at first base, the guy's out, you got to get rid of the ball. If the pitcher tries to pick off the runner at first, you got to throw away the ball. Every time there's a play, you got to get rid of the ball so you don't transfer the virus. Isn't the idea of testing everybody, like before every game, the idea that none of these people have the virus, so they could go and they could all kiss each other after the game, and it ain't going to matter because none of them have it. Isn't that the idea behind the testing? But they want to throw away the ball. Every time something happens to the ball, they throw it away, go to a new ball. What? I mean, no high fives. That's not baseball at this point. It's just like, no, just forget it. Not by these rules.
Will the face will become the new form of nudity? Yes. They'll bring Playboy back and have full pictures of your nose. Miss April has the sexiest nostrils I've ever seen. Am I wrapped up into ABC Sports? Recognized around the world as a leader in sports television.
I think it should be up to the people. I think it should be up to the people. If you don't feel safe, stay home. But don't tell me to stay home. I think, and that's it. That's what we should do. Because they were saying too, our immunity is going to get bad because we're not going out anymore. And you need your body to toughen up. You like the fart analogy? Yeah, I saw that from somewhere. That if you can smell my fart through my pants, then masks really aren't going to do much. I like fart jokes, though. I mean, everyone likes fart jokes.
You can take the boy out of the fourth grade, but you can't take the fourth grade out of the boy.
Yeah, I mean, the rules are just nuts.
What are you looking for?
If you're naked, don't come on camera.
Oh, she's not naked.
All right, hang on a sec. I got to go attend to something over here. Hang on.
Jeez, Dave never asked for a second cup of banana coffee at home. Yes, Leslie Nielsen was famous for his fart jokes. So good. Most are. Are base coaches allowed to whisper in Renner's ear? Look at the chick with the mask in the third row. How will a mound visit look? They've all got their hands covered anyway. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher, you know. We're gonna go with the 78 season as long as we can. That was fun. That was fun. We got there. Last time his dog fell out. Is there a naked stranger in his house? Well, if it is, then we'll see him in about 2 minutes. He'll be tired by then, but we'll see him in about 2 minutes. So we'll see. So that game was fun. They'll have a Zoom meeting. Yeah, everyone will. It's just kind of like talking with your teenagers. They're pulling out their phone and going. One nice thing about the quarantine, I'm getting a lot of more mound visits. Wink, wink. These days. Thank you, Red Fan Rod. I do appreciate it. We showed a clip of my game today. That was just tremendous. So it's important to get some mound visits every once in a while, Mr. Clue. Hopefully everything's okay as Dave has left us. Oh, the light's off. And so we'll get the East German judge will give us the results shortly. Do you see that Phyllis George died on Saturday? She was 70. I hadn't talked about that on the stream. I talked about a little bit in my game. She was Miss Texas, 1970 Miss Texas, and the 1971 Miss America. We're talking about Zoom dating. Well, usually that's what happens anyway. We just started talking about Phyllis George.
Oh, I saw that. That's terrible. I remember watching her back in the day.
Can I play some entrance music for Dave? What would be your walk-up song?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Bad to the Bone?
Oh, maybe.
Nelson Bowe and Chris Schenkel. Okay, Chris, he's got a 4.7 here to roll a 238.
I was watching some Family Guy today. I haven't watched Family Guy in a long time. But today I was like, well, I can't walk the dog because the drain company's coming. They don't really feel like playing anything right now. Don't want to get involved in some. My downstairs was all torn up here because I had to give them room to get at the main thing we talked about. So I got to watch some TV. So I went and I had a whole bunch of Family Guys. I was like, holy cow, I got a whole bunch of Family Guys here that I haven't watched. So I started watching them. And one of them, they have little cut scenes. One was like, this is like watching the two football broadcasters in a really tight booth. And it shows one of them like, Tony, this has been a great game so far. What do you think? And then Tony Romo comes right up to the guy's face and he's like, yeah, I think the running games are really great. And if you notice how close our lips are, they have Tony. We're practically here in the booth. I know.
My two favorite ones are a cut scene back to the Facts of Life, and Joe turns to Mrs. Garrett. Is my penis supposed to touch my vagina? And Mrs. Garrett going, no. And the other one is a spoof of Watergate and Deep Throat, and they realize that Kermit is Deep Throat.
Oh,
that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a Leave It to Beaver show the other night, DJ. So we were talking a lot about Leave It to Beaver.
She was a hottie, and she was actually pretty good on TV. Yeah, Bo was a pretty decent bowler on top of his commentary, and if he made a TV show, Dick Weber, Pete's dad, filled in.
There was one I saw. There was a video I saw, and it was her, Brent Musburger, and I think Irv Cross.
Smiling Irv.
And it was a playoff game, and they were outside, and it was I think it might have been Minnesota, and they were all bundled up, right?
Yeah.
And the three of them were outside, right? But they were just standing there. Well, they were probably 30 yards off the field, right? But they were standing there, and they didn't have the booth, so the booth was off to the side because she was like, I think I'm going to go in because I'm freezing, you know what I mean? And like all these people were walking, like the crowd was like walking by them. And some like were patting them on the shoulders and stuff. It's like they would never let the crowd near the talent nowadays. They would have security, but they were just standing there. And all these people walking by, like, who are these guys? Oh, they're on TV. How's it going? It's like, but they all kind of treated them fine. They didn't really harass them too much. But it's just funny that they were just standing in the middle of everybody.
She's the one that interviewed Roger Staubach for the NFL Today when Staubach said to her, I like sex too. I just don't talk about it like Joe Namath. Yep, Bo Burton, 290. That's pretty good, Bruce. Yep, Vikings and Rams.
Yeah, that was outside. Yep, and they were
And
talking
they're
about
burning the field. They're literally torching.
Yeah. They put stuff on the field, and I don't know if it made it slippery or what it did, but
they're trying to thaw it.
Yeah.
Yep, 75. No, it's Vikings Rams or Vikings Cowboys. I thought that was the push off game. Yeah, 290 is pretty good.
I don't remember. It was Minnesota for sure. I just don't remember what teams it was, but I just remember there was a clip from them.
Hockey and college basketball.
Tom Mees, yeah, I remember Tom Mees. Yeah,
drowned. Remember that?
Yeah, in a pool, right?
He drowned in his own pool.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching too. I was watching some of the old, the old NFL Todays and stuff, and they had the Bryant Gumbel. He's like, all right, let's go over to Mike Adamle. Remember Mike Adamle?
Yes. He hosted American Gladiators too.
Okay. Yeah, but I remember the Mike Adamle.
Yep. I just like it with one woman. I was watching this because we're talking about the poor ski jumper in Wide World of Sports. Was that last night So in the couple minutes I had before I had to go stream last night, I watched like 3 or 4 Wild World of Sports opens. And the thrill of victory was always different. In 74, it was George Foreman. In 81, it was the Olympic hockey team. And a couple years later, it was the Little League team out of Trumbull, Connecticut. But the agony of the defeat was always the same. It was a guy falling off the damn ski jump. Adamle played for the Jets as well. Oh, a 9 spare Bruce got to start, and then 11 in a row. Wow.
Oh, wow. Nice. I just got a ball. I have to play like with the things that keep the ball from going in the gutters. That's what I like to play.
You need the gutter bumpers, Davey.
I like the gutter bumpers.
You need the gutter bumpers.
Viking Rams. Okay. I'll see if I can find that. What year was it? Vikings?
76, 75? But it was cold. It was really cold.
Oh, yeah, it's showing pictures of them burning the field.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, it's not showing the pregame show with them though.
Which?
Oh, it was game of the week. No wonder why. I need the broad.
Which would always made me wonder if the field would become slippery because you're thawing the field. It's going to refreeze it. It's not like it was 30 degrees outside. That day was cold.
Yeah. So that was
Alexa, what's the temperature in Minneapolis? Alexa, what's the temperature in Minneapolis?
Right now, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's not cold.
Tonight, expect a low of 56 degrees.
It's warmer than here. Thank you. Al, how you doing?
Okay, here it is right here. Okay. I'm just going to show you the picture real quick. So I don't get. All right, so that's that's what I got. You see all the people walking by? And there they are, Irv Cross, Brent Musburger, and Phyllis George. And they're all sitting there just right on the sidelines. Yeah, 75. December 75 it was. But yeah, they were right down the field, all the people just walking by him. There's one like security guard with a mustache, and that's about it.
I believe, Keith, you're white. You're right. I think Jane Kennedy did a couple booby pictures.
Yeah. Yep. I think you might be right. Can you find those and send those to me?
You can Google it.
It's always cold in Minnesota.
We just did that, yeah. So
who's this Al Red Sox guy? Is he new?
I don't know. Heat wave.
Oh, what did we say? It was 41, 48.
48 in Duluth, and what did we say? 71 in Minneapolis?
Yep, Irv Cross was there.
Smiling Irv. He always looked like he'd taken one too many hits to the head.
The Battle of the Bays, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. He always said that.
Well, she was in Minnesota, so.
Yeah. But she was complaining how cold it was. She goes, I need to go inside. So she left the guys out there. But they had the picture, the video of before that. They had the little flamethrowers. They're going over the field. What can you do?
Football weather.
Yeah, those are fun to watch. Those are really kind of fun to watch. They've been playing some old, like I said, we talked about the old hockey games, the old football games, and stuff like that. Sometimes it's fun to watch the whole thing, and other times it's kind of hard. It's like, man,
I got look at the clips, the Rangers Penguins clip from '76. You said that's brutal to watch.
I've been getting a lot of those in my feed. 76 Penguins, and I've been getting a lot of Ranger games, and they're the heavy goal scoring games. Like 14 goals scored, 16 goals scored. Rangers win 9-3 or something like that. So there's all these goals being scored in these games, and it's fun to watch because they condense it down to like 5 or 10 minutes, and you just see all the goals being scored. There was one Maple Leafs Blackhawks, Tony Esposito in net, and I think it was like 11-4 or something like that. The Maple Leafs destroyed him, and on the last play of the game. A guy from the Maple Leafs come in, went around Esposito, and Esposito threw his stick, right? And I think he missed the puck, but they called the penalty shot with no time left. And the guy went down and scored to make it whatever the score was. But it was like, Esposito just didn't care at that point. He was like, screw this, I'm throwing my stick. And they gave him the penalty shot. Do you know what I saw the other day that was kind of weird? This is something I never knew. It was rare equipment penalties in hockey. And one of the rule, and I never knew this. I still think it's a bizarre rule. So you know how like the defenseman loses his stick in hockey and the forward hands it to him?
Yes.
Right. So there was a 3-on-3 game and they're playing, and the defenseman loses his stick in the corner. So the forward hands him his stick. So the forward's got no stick, right? And they're playing 3-on because it's overtime. So they're playing 3-on-3. And one guy's so the puck ends up going wide. So the forward goes into the corner and grabs the defenseman's stick, his own guy's stick, and starts playing with it. And they call the penalty.
Wow.
How can that be a penalty if you handed your stick to the defenseman and he's playing with your stick? Why can't you play with his stick? That is such a dumb rule. If you, because you didn't hand it to him? You know what? I know it's a penalty if you grab the other. It's like if there's two sticks in the ground and you grab the other guy's stick, that's a holding call, okay? Because you took his stick away. But if your team, if you dropped all 3 sticks in the ground, everybody picked up a stick, you're gonna get 3 penalties if you don't get the right stick. I thought that was a bad rule. That makes no sense.
According to Answers.com, Kennedy was fired from CBS for shooting an episode for NBC. Yeah, so you can pose for Playboy, but don't you ever go on a rival network.
I know, right?
So, Todd, did you see? Yep, there's a great, Espo with the Rangers. I still like their 78 unis, the ones with a logo on the front, as opposed to the word Rangers. I think they only wore them for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
Ivan, how you doing? So, Todd, were you in the stands that night for the All-Star game in 81? And George Hendrick didn't give him an autograph, and so a hatred was born that lasts till this day.
Yeah, Viking weather. Yep. Yeah, that guy from the Vikings there, the Viking mascot guy. Yeah, they ended up firing him because he wanted all kinds of money.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted like $10,000 a game. Because he was a legend down there, and they were paying him too. But they're like, "Yeah, we're not paying you that much." So he was like, "I ain't gonna do it." It's like, "All right, bye." I think you got a kind of
anyone can wear a suit for crying.
You got a decent thing going on, dude. You know.
He was. That's cool. Oh yeah, Musburger and Jimmy the Greek threw punches at each other.
Oh, geez, that was Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah, his mustache liked to poured out a couple, and the Greek drank. And yep, Billy Martin. Now the Pine Tar game. It was a baseball, So you know the story behind that, right? So Kansas City, New York, 83. At the end of their great rivalry, and Brett hits a go-ahead homer in the top of the ninth. And so Martin was a smart guy. And I'm telling this story to Dave, and Dave goes off camera. So Martin is a smart guy. And so he's looking at the bat. And you can only have the pine tar so high up on the bat. And so he's asked, after Brett crosses home plate, he's asking for the bat. And the Royals are trying to hide it. The umpire gets it. And they measure it across home plate. And so the amount of pine tar can't be higher than the width of home plate. Well, it obviously was. And the ball didn't hit off the pine tar. So, but technically, just kind of like your dumb penalty by picking up the wrong stick rule, they call him out and eject him.
Yeah, I remember that.
And, yep, there's the Greek. 18 inches. And, oh, yeah, so Brett comes running out of the dugout. I thought he was going to kill somebody.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so but that's what that was. It's the same dumb thing as what you're talking about, picking up the wrong stick, or Marty McSorley with a 5-foot curve on his stick. But
yeah, I don't get the pine. I mean, the curve on the stick I can see, but picking up a legal stick, if it's not on a teammate stick, I don't get that.
Yep. The Brett became the Greek and retired to Vegas. He's going to call, when we have a football season this year, he's going to call the Raiders games on the radio, as the last couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. Oakland's just not that. Yeah. Ron Guidry was in right field for that ninth inning, and another pitcher in left field.
That's nuts.
He still won. So
you don't see that anymore. They are now, but they didn't used to be. But any new hockey rinks now, they do have to be. But they had some ones that were really small. Boston, Chicago, Calgary were always small.
Oh, did Manley play second base? Big clue. Yeah, I'm saying the rule is stupid. It was called correctly. It was more than the width of the home plate. And so the umpires had to do what they had to do. But having that much pine tar didn't affect it. Martin exploited it. And good for Billy. But yes. So I'm saying that I'm saying both. I'm doing my version of a politician. I'm saying, yes, the rule is stupid. And yes, the umpire was correct. It was Tim McClelland, as a matter of fact.
It's like the tuck rule. I thought that was stupid too, but that's the rule.
That's the rule. Absolutely.
I mean, just okay. And the other thing I saw too is I was watching some NFL bizarre rules today, and it shows the one for the Green Bay Packers that the kickoff came and it would bounce near the sideline.
Essentially went out of bounds.
And he went out of bounds and then touched the ball. Now, I thought
very smart.
Okay, but here's my question. I thought you couldn't go out of bounds and be the first guy to touch the ball. I thought you had to establish yourself in the field before you touch the ball. That's why I'm confused on that. And I get that if he's out of bounds and touches it, technically the ball's out of bounds. But if you go out of bounds, there's whole different rules about being out of bounds. So if you go out of bounds, like if you force the receiver out of bounds, he can't come in and catch the ball.
No.
So how can you go out of bounds and touch the ball, and that's okay?
They changed the rule after that, but
I would hope so, because they showed this guy do it twice and here's a heads up play. And that's right. He knows the rules and that's an exploit, but it doesn't make any sense that if you're a receiver and you go out of bounds, you can't come back in and be the first to catch it. But if you're on the kick return, you can go out of bounds and touch it. That makes no sense.
It's kind of like the snowplow thing. It was one of those things that it wasn't illegal at the time.
Did they finally make that illegal?
Oh, yes.
Oh, they did?
Well, Don Shula was on the competition committee. And so that year, before the 83 season, that became illegal. You can manually improve a kicker's stance, but you couldn't bring a machine. So that's why you saw after that them try to brush off something if there was snow on the field. But that Shula made that illegal.
That was bizarre.
Just one of those things that you just don't know. It's kind of like watching Belichick do the formations. Remember the year that the Patriots beat Baltimore and they would line up? Yeah, all legal. All of it legal.
But all these guys would report, I'm eligible, I'm ineligible, I'm eligible, I'm ineligible. Right. And Baltimore didn't know what to do. And and then the whole thing, did you see it last year? Then they got Belichick back on the whole delay a game thing. is that they were going to punt and it was over 5 minutes to play. And if you took a delayed game penalty, they reset the clock and started it. And you could kill off you could take 3 penalties in a row. So you could kill off 45 seconds 3 times in a row. And that's what they did. And Belichick was doing that. It was like the intentional shift there. And the Titans did it to him last year. And it's like, I think that's a dumb rule. I think, if you're killing the clock, the other team should have the option to say, hey, look, I'm going to decline it and don't run the clock,
I love the free kick.
Yeah.
I love the free kick. Never seen it successfully executed.
Yeah, I've never seen it successful either.
The
immaculate reception, that was one of those where if it had hit the receiver and went to Franco Harris, it would have been an ineligible pass. But because it hit the defenseman's helmet and went to Franco Harris, then he could score on a touchdown. But yeah, there was one Brady threw in Atlanta one time, and it went right through the receiver's hands, hit him in the head, went straight up on the head to another Patriot receiver who caught it and ran in for a touchdown.
Well, the Antonio Freeman play against Minnesota on Monday Night Football, which should have been an interception by Chris Dishman. He dropped it. It hit off of Freeman's neck. He somehow tipped it in the air, rolled over, got it. No one touches him. He gets touched. It's a hell of a catch, but it's not a touchdown. He picked it up, and he ran it in for 6.
Yeah. Yep.
That was one of the. Or how about when the quarterback throws himself a touchdown pass because it's deflected by a lineman?
Yeah. What I can't figure out is the kicker. Like if you kick a field goal and it's blocked,
it's a live ball. So technically, the kicker could pick it up and run it in.
And I've seen that before.
Right.
But if it must go behind. If it's not crossed the line of scrimmage, because
I'm sure that's what it is.
Because if you kick it blocked and it dribbles along, you can go and you couldn't just go and get it,
Al says that Ron Meyer was the Pats coach in the snowplow game. Such an ingenious thing.
Mm.
Oh, yep. Doug Flutie had the dropkick extra point for the Patriots in his last ever game. One of those Saturday afternoon specials. And you know who called that? Randy Cross had that one right. Max Percival of the Bears beat the Packers in 68 on a free kick. The most famous one I've seen, well, there were 2. I think didn't San Francisco try like a 68-yard field goal at the half against
Yeah, I thought the Colts do one too.
That was the first year they were in Indy. Chester Marcol in 1980 blocked field goal, went right back to him, and he ran it in for a touchdown in overtime. That clip's on YouTube.
Yeah, but
the Leon Lett thing.
I remember that. Well, what happened with that is Dallas blocked the kick,
and they couldn't touch it,
and the ball continued forward on the ground towards the Dallas goal line. And when Leon Lett went in to get it, he slid to recover it, and he ended up hitting it with his knee.
And it became
a live ball. So the Dolphins got it back, and that would have been 1st and 10 for them because it was almost like a punt at that point. It's just a live ball. So that's what happened with that. I remember watching that live. I saw that live.
Yep. Raul Alegre, first year they were in Indianapolis. And I'd never seen it before, didn't know the rule. And that's when you do it. You can't lose the game.
Canadian football. Yeah, that is nuts. Oh, yeah, that was the snow game. Yep. That was like, boy, it's snowing in Dallas. But yeah, there was a crazy ending one time in one of those where the guy, it was a tie game or what. The guy kicked the field goal, missed it. And if you miss a field goal, you still get a point. Okay. It's a rouge. Yeah. What you said. And so the guy caught it, tried to run it out of his end zone. He didn't want to get tackled for safety, so he kicked it. He was running and he just booted out of the end zone, right? So the other team gets it and they kick it back because they're trying to get it in the end zone for the 1 point to win the game. And they just kept kicking it. So whoever got it just kicked it, and finally somebody blocked it.
Rugby.
It was a nutty finish of Canadian football game, and I don't know if it was a touchdown or a safety or what, but yeah. So
why is the field goal distance calculated from the spot, yet yardage from the punt is from the line of scrimmage?
That's a good point.
I don't know. Why do you park on the freeway?
I think maybe because it's a scoring play that they're going to calculate that. Whereas I think it would I don't know. Maybe it would mess if you did the punts like that. It would mess up some of the yardage stats because you're not punting from the line of scrimmage. I don't know. Yeah, I remember that one too. Steve.
Here's a crazy one. Don't look it up now, but it's possible in college to have a 1-point safety.
Oh, is that if they like run back the extra point?
No, it's not. No, it's not that. There's you can't show it because you'll violate, somebody's copyright. But Brad Nessler has called 2 1-point safeties, and so look it up.
I think I saw that, and the announcers are like, "We're not sure what happened here, but the team got a point."
It was something on like an extra point kick, and I think maybe it was blocked and went out of the back of the end zone. Maybe that's it. Yeah, you park in a driveway and drive on a parkway. So obviously don't look it up now because we want you to watch us. But
yeah,
a 1-point. That's the most bizarre thing. Yep. And Brad Nessler is the one that is calling both of those plays. And I don't know if you can do that in the pros or not. So yes, you can have a 1-point safety in college football.
I wonder if it was a block kick. The guy scooped it up and ran back into his end zone and got tackled.
Definitely was a special teams play. I think both times.
I think that's what it was. It was an extra point.
I think one was an extra point.
They blocked it, and I think maybe someone picked it up in the field of play.
Big Polly says a blocked extra point return goes back in their own end zone. Can also happen in the NFL. Okay. That would be kind of crazy to explain that one.
No, you don't get any points. Did they ever give?
You get 6.
Did they give the win to that team? Okay, they did.
Cal won the game.
Okay.
Now they've changed. Again, that's a rule that changed if, it's a dead ball foul.
I think it was a block extra point.
And it went out of the back of the, it was touched out of the back of the end zone.
And the team must have picked it up and then tried to run with it and then got tackled in the end zone. And that produced a 1-point safety.
One of your favorite penalties is when they have a tripping call and a dive on the same play. Saw that in Worcester.
Yeah, they don't like to call I think it's one of these things that if you kind of get legitimately tripped, but then you ham it up. And I've called that myself. Because I've had a guy like stick his stick in, and the guy trips, but he's like, "Oh!" And I'm like, "Okay." It's like, sorry, that's a trip, but you totally dove, And so the NHL does call that a lot too, where it's like, in sports like diving in a trip or whatever it is, or interference. So, but anyway, 8:00 here. Why don't we wrap things up? We had another good show tonight.
Boom, boom.
Talked a lot of things tonight. We got the ABC banner hanging proud now, so that's good.
It's now the agony of defeat.
That's all right. You defeated the banner. That's all that matters. So.
That's right. Jim Marshall picking up. Yep. So
yeah, that was a funny one too. A lot of funny stuff.
He thinks he scored a touchdown and he scored a safety. Yeah, overtime came in the NFL in '74 as well.
Yep, some good stuff there. So yeah, we flew through tonight. Another good show tonight. So, all right, we're gonna sign off here, everybody. Thanks to the banner tonight for being our third guest here. And we had another good tonight. So, boy, it's getting cold. I just opened a window. I was getting hot in here. Then I opened a window. Now I'm getting cold again.
Yeah, the AC's on and getting chilly.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna jump out. Hopefully, we'll see everybody tomorrow night. I don't know what I got going on my channel tomorrow. My appointment's a late morning, so it kind of screws up my day now. But I want to finish my APA game. I got a couple of other little projects I'm working on. So, we're going to celebrate with pineapple pizza. That's right. Yeah, we are. So, all right. We'll talk to everybody later. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye.